Alright guys, it's been a very long time since I've posted any videos, and the reason for that is because I've been actually sort of quite busy trying to make a living and things like that, so we can't all just spend the whole time making videos and trying to live off of them, because what I give out is for free. I'm not expecting any money in return and stuff like that. The whole idea of what I would like to do is that hopefully enough people would see a video from me or a video from somebody else who is in the DJ business and look at that and say, right, okay, so I can do that, and you've been fairly successful with that, so therefore I could probably be successful with that too. And so this is the first installment of hopefully what will now become a session of videos, so that I can pass what I've learned over the past few years onto you, and maybe that way we can all sort of raise the general standard of the DJ industry, which personally I find isn't particularly high. And so therefore you don't have to be absolutely wonderful and absolutely amazing at this present moment to be able to make a small success of what you're doing. You don't have to be brilliant, you just have to be a little bit better than the rest. Then you shine. It shouldn't be about that. It should be that you're a lot better, and that you're dedicated, and it takes hours of practice and years of practice to get everything right. And that's unfortunately not the case these days. Anyway, rule number one, my personal rule number one on becoming a successful DJ, and that is know your music. It depends. It doesn't matter what you want to be as a DJ. The point is that you do need to know your music, and we're not talking about know your music as in listen to it quite often so you know where to mix and where not to mix. I mean literally know the field of which you're working in. And so if you're if you just want to play house music, then know house music and know it inside and out, because what you're doing is you're specializing in that instance, and therefore you need to really know everything about it and know everything that's going on. Now, if you're an all-round DJ, which is the majority of mobile DJs, and of course that's generally the field of which I'm going to be talking about in my videos, then you don't have to be specific about knowing a particular genre. But it does mean to say that you have to know a little bit about all the genres from 1950 all the way through to present day. You could know a little bit of the older stuff, maybe some real R&B, and not the R&B that we're listening to on the radio today, and probably some classic stuff as well. Just depends on what environment that you're working in. But still, bottom line is know your music, and so that means that you do need to know what was the flavour back in the 1950s and the 60s and the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, and now present day. Because if you know what the mainstream people were listening to back then, or within that period of time, then you're going to have a better idea of knowing what you should be playing at an event. So enough of that. That is really the first rule, and I've started with this one because I think this is more important than anything else. Really, just to totally wrap it up, it doesn't matter what equipment you have, what lighting you have, it really how good your mixing is. It also doesn't matter about how good you can program an evening, because unless you have a good knowledge of music, you are not going to be able to fulfill your job of being a DJ at an event. So that's it. Rule number one, and the ultimate rule: know your music. Okay.